back to daddy when I Senegal. Daddy at the general. Have to pay the lawyer just to stay out the federal. Big man pull up like a sentinel. Big gold chain on the neck, me and several. Make the girl hyper. Have to settle down. Ginseng roof for the second round. Knock out in the car. Rubber man take a gun.
Different level to me.
I said, hey, yo, welcome to Disagreeable. This is Disagreeable. I am disagreeable, you know. And there's a lot going on in the world. I just woke up. I haven't even sipped my tea yet. It's not cool enough to sip yet. You feel me? But there's a lot going on in the world. You feel me? I know people want to see your face on this YouTube thing and have shows prepared for them. Guess what? I don't have anything prepared, but we have an idea where we're going because there's a unique angle. I mean, I say unique because I didn't invent this angle, but I saw it. I saw the play, but people put it together better than I cared to. You know. Now, immediately, you know what? Before we get into that, let's warm up the show. I just woke up not too long ago. And I just had a feeling to get right to this. So how do I do this? Before we get into the Trump and the Louisiana and all that stuff, we'll do this right here. Boom. Boom. We're gonna review my notes from the Zurich Axioms real quick. You feel me? Why? Because that's what I want to do, and I feel like it's important for basically all men to read the Zurich Axioms. You feel me? Zurich Axioms is a book about Swiss bankers and their investment rules and ideas. You feel me? So I know most niggas aren't into anything that's not salacious or about has to do with hoes or the news is telling you. So I know you don't care about the information. So you can go ahead and move along. You know, but we'll get into it. Zurich Axioms. Axiom number 1 on risk. Worry is not a sickness, but a sign of health. You are not worried. If you are not worried, you're not risking enough. You feel me? Take that into consideration. Minor axiom number 1. Always play for meaningful stakes. That kind of intertwines with if you're not worried, you're not risking enough. You feel me? 2. Resist the allure of diversification. Resist the allure of diversification. Figure out what you do well and do that well and stick to that. You feel me? Lock in. Axiom 2 on greed. Always take your profits too soon. Some people need that like drilled into their head on greed. Axiom 2. Always take your profits too soon. Minor axiom 3. Decide in advance what you want from a venture and get out of them when you get it. Axiom 3 on hope. When the ship starts to sink, don't pray, jump. Feel me? Minor axiom 4. Accept small losses cheerfully as part of life. Accept them as a part of life while waiting on larger gains. Take small losses as a method to protect yourself from big losses. In the absence of compelling reasons for why things will get better, sell. Sell. None of dumb motherfuckers need to hear that. You feel me? My bad. I don't get this energy. Just reading that makes me sick of thinking about some people I know. Fucking nostalgic idiots. You must not fall victim to these 3 issues that will stop you from cutting your losses early. 1, the fear of regret, the avoidance of pain, the unwillingness to admit you are wrong. Yo, that is one of this might be the major one right here. This might be the one. You feel me? Hold up. And hit the like button if you're hanging around in here. I see one person's already in the show. You know, I do this for me. I don't really do this for whoever. But yeah, let me read that again. You must not fall victim to these three issues that will stop you from cutting your losses early. One, the fear of regret. Two, the avoidance of pain, which is also a fear of regret that's painful to you. And three, the unwillingness to admit you are wrong. You can apply that to so many things in your life. You feel me? Axiom 4 on forecasting. Human behavior cannot be predicted. Distrust anyone who claims to know the future, however dimly. Simply ignore forecast. Yeah, nobody knows what's going to happen. Axiom 5, patterns. Chaos is not dangerous until it begins to look orderly. Humans seek patterns. Order is an illusion. Keep this in mind. Beware of the historian's trap. The historian's trap is the illusion every history repeats itself exactly. Beware of the chartist illusion. The chartist illusion is a belief that future price movements can be found in the charts of the past. If you're not reading price action, if you're not on charts, if you're on the financial markets, transmutate this information and make it applicable to yourself. So whatever the chartist illusion is, replace that with whatever illusions you have in your life. You feel me? Beware of the correlation and causality delusions. Beware, those Zurich axioms are just so cold, dog. Beware of the correlation and causality delusions. I kind of want to chop that up and go deeper into it, or I'm gonna keep reading. People need to take that and take heed to it. Beware of the correlation and causality delusions. Beware of the gambler's fallacy. Despite better odds, the role of chance exists because markets are chaotic. You feel me? Life in general. Axiom 5, mobility. Avoid putting down roots. They impede motion. Let me add an S to that. Boom. Axiom 5, mobility. Avoid putting down roots. They impede motion. Don't become trapped in a souring venture because of sentiments like loyalty or nostalgia. Never hesitate to abandon a venture if something more attractive comes into view. Huh? Never hesitate. Axiom 6, intuition. A hunch can be trusted if it can be explained. A hunch can be trusted if it can be explained. Never confuse a hunch with hope. Axiom 7, occult. It's unlikely that God's plan, listen carefully. It's unlikely that God's plan for the universe includes making you rich. If astrology worked, all astrologers would be rich. A superstition does not need to be exercised. It can be enjoyed if it's, I wrote this wrong. It can be enjoyed. It can be joined if it is, yeah. Put it right there. I'll run that back. Axiom 7, occult. It's unlikely that God's plan for the universe includes making you rich. If astrology worked, all astrologers would be rich. And superstition does not need to be exercised. It can be enjoyed if it is kept in its place. Axiom 9, optimism and pessimism. Optimism means expecting the best, but confidence means knowing how you will handle the worst. Never make a move if you are merely optimistic. Axiom 10, consensus. Disregard the majority consensus. Disregard the majority opinion. It is probably wrong. I will say this again. Axiom 10, consensus. Disregard the majority opinion. It is probably wrong. The easy way is to accept the opinions of experts, gurus, brokers, bankers, forecasters, etc. The easy way is to accept the opinions of experts, gurus, brokers, bankers, forecasters, etc. as absolute truth. The hard way, the Descartes way, is to question, examine, and verify. Never follow speculative fads. Often, the best time to buy something is when nobody else wants it. Never follow speculative fads. Often the best time to buy something is when nobody else wants it. Axiom 11. Stubbornness. If it doesn't pay off the first time, forget it. Never try to save a bad investment by averaging down. Repeat. People need to get this in their heads. Stubbornness. Axiom 11. If it doesn't pay off the first time, forget it. Never try to save a bad investment by averaging down. Axiom 12. Planning. Long range plans engender the dangers of belief that the future is under control. Let me read it again. Axiom 12, planning. Long range plans engender the dangerous belief that the future is under control. It is important to never take your own long range plans or other people's seriously. Shun long term investments. You feel me? Yeah, I just wanted to go over that for myself and for people who care. I don't really, it is what it is. These are the notes for the Zurich Axioms. I just stack my notes in here, so people see that we really doing it. We got where's liquidity, we got structural liquidity, we got market structure, you feel me? Liquidity orders of money. We got some notes for Omni information, you feel me? We got write-ups pertaining to the financial markets and psychology written by me. You feel me? I'll read this too. You feel me? I wrote this and it's dope. You feel me? This is Waiting and Waiting by Disagreeable. We don't want, we wait. We actually want to wait because we know waiting will fulfill all our wants. We find joy in waiting. Having is a side effect of not wanting in the financial markets. It might not happen, but it will happen. I liken trading to fishing. Catching is not guaranteed, but fishing is guaranteed. We trade because we are traders, and the winnings are just a result of doing what we love. And we love trading because it has given us freedom. Money is common, freedom is rare, and we have acquired rare knowledge. So we wait and wait and wait for the perfect opportunity to cast our net and collect our bounty. Catching is exciting. Fishing is fun. The fishing keeps you catching. But you don't hear me though. I don't expect people to understand that. You feel me? Just mad notes we got here. Protect the bank, fair value gap study session notes, trend line study session notes. That was heavy. How to read market structure notes. You feel me? Broken down, trend identification, all that shit. How to understand liquidity concepts and use them. You feel me? Just notes, dog. You feel me? When I say I'm really out here locked in focus, I'm really out here locked in focus. You feel me? You feel me? Hold up, you need to see my desktop. Get the fuck out of here. I got any wall shit on my desktop right now? Hold up, let me get this up here. All right, should I wait for some people to pass by the show to really chop up and get into what I want to get into? Because who has some of this information together the best? What was I doing? I should have saved that shit last night that I watched. I'm bugging. We'll figure it out. We'll find something. We'll just talk about it a little bit. We'll just talk about it a little bit. Hold up. The thing is really crazy. Like, as soon as I saw this, I'm looking at some bullshit. As soon as I saw this whole Tesla Cybertruck go boom in front of the Trump Towers, I already know that it was like, this is just more theater, more weird shit going on. Yes, theater can have real consequences. These people or entities don't care about you dying in their theater. You feel me? So, you know what? And I don't want, let me change what I was gonna do right now. Let me change this because I don't want to come on here like sound like I'm trying to be like super smart or some shit. But let's just play basic. Let's just play basic shit. Okay, guy drives Cybertruck to Trump Towers. They say he popped himself in the head, and then the shit went off, or he detonated it, and then he popped himself in the head. I don't know. What are they saying? The guy in the truck was dead, you know? And, this Tesla came down. Oh, the truck was not in self driving mode. Yeah, sure, it wasn't. You feel me? And another thing that added a clue to me was the fact that there was mad fireworks in the car. Now, why would somebody who is a military trained like expert make such a shitty explosive for one, and why would he waste time bringing fireworks into the car and the placement and all that shit? Now, there's a couple things going on. Now, this is either just theater for the public to propagandize our subconscious on a certain level. You feel me? Meaning with the patriotism, the Cybertruck blowing up, the Trump, the Elon, all these things working in conjunction. It could be a fetish of some sort, but I really just think it's the elite, the so-called elite, talking to each other. You feel me? Communicating with each other. The message they're sending. Now that's up for interpretation because we're not in the mix, in the know. But for what I understand, that guy was some type of whistleblower on technologies that are coming out. And Trump has been talking about the things in the sky and how he knows what they are, and he doesn't know why they just won't tell you or whatever. Blah blah blah. I think that truck blowing up over there was a warning sign, a warning message. It was some sort of warning message. You feel me? And there's other things to look in conjunction too, because there's a guy who has a channel. He's a chronologist, and he has a system of calendrics. You feel me? Jason at Archaics, and he predicted a while ago. Like I watched him predict a while ago through his calendric system, did that there would be an uptick in knife attacks. That happened very clearly. You feel me? And he kind of predicted the taking of peace from the earth. And they're always playing out this Bible shit. So they're taking peace from the earth. So people think that's like World War III or whatever. Like, no, that's not how it's gonna go. Taking peace from the earth isn't all out war or Armageddon. It is exactly that. It is taking peace from the earth. It is skirmishes, knife fights, fires, things like that. You know? And if you see where we're going, how would you play that out? How would you play that out? You play that out by having sleeper cells. By having sleeper cells all over the country, programmed motherfuckers, MK Ultra programmed, and Manchurian candidate ass niggas. You feel me? And when you can pop them off, you can pop them off whenever you want. And it's going to be very chaotic. It's going to take peace from the earth. People are not going to know what to do, or where to go, or what to do, or what's safe and not safe, because it is chaos. You feel me? It is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Make you nervous, stressed, put you into an animalistic state, because when you are in an animalistic state, you are only worried about provision of life, finding food and shelter. That's your main concern. And you cannot manifest, create, or cause change in the physical world really that much when you're stressed out, because you can't think properly. And all change emanates from thought and the imagination. You feel me? So that's what's really going on. That's what's really going on right now with all this shit. It is grimy. People probably did get ran over in New Orleans, all types of shit, Muslims and shit. And yo, this was so fake. Damn, why can't I? Yo, I really sometimes I regret not having history on my YouTube. I turn the history off so I don't know what I watched, and it's not constantly giving me the same shit that I have watched already. But there was a damn, what was homie's name? React. Oh, it was a corny channel. This nigga was React Zone. The React. Oh, there. I think I found it. The React Files. Yes, this guy had a decent compilation of good clips.
Welcome back.
Yeah, and shout out to people getting the money on here doing absolutely nothing. I think I'm gonna end this channel. I'm gonna start a channel where I do absolutely nothing. You feel me? Because I'll be good at finding clips and sitting there being like, yeah. But hold on, let me get this up right now. Let's talk about this.
Hey guys, did you know?
Give me a second. Let's talk about this. Give me a second.
Back.
All right, let me get this up. All right, shout out to homie.
Put another bang. History.
You got a little music in the beginning of this. I know you might be one of those really smart niggas that have your own music in the beginning, so I can't play your video and shit like that. But you know you're not gonna get me like that.
Lots of different.
Now look at this. Shout out to homie right here. I'm guessing he's a Crip. I'm guessing he's a Crip. And this nigga's high as shit, barely awake, getting bread on YouTube. If you're not getting money, if you're not trying to think of ways to get money, then I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you. You feel me? Well, let's get into this. Now, for most people who have never experienced, haven't lived many lives, they might see like nothing strange about this, you know? But I have to let you know what is strange. The feds don't come kicking your shit and everything looks okay in the house. The feds cannot take account and itemize all the shit they want to itemize in your dwelling by leaving it sitting there. And they don't leave active crime scenes unprotected where random news white bitches can just walk in and talk about it. Don't ask me how I know how a house looks after the feds have ran through it. Don't ask me how I know.
If we walk through the home, we see some signs of what he was up to. He had this work area here, lots of different chemicals splayed around.
This is straight propaganda. Straight propaganda, dog. She's walking into an active crime scene and everything just set up like it's a fucking movie set. So you could think this guy, like this is an episode of 24 or something. Oh, look at his computer. He had 2 monitors here and he was working on chemicals. Okay.
And different electronics. This is, again, a work setup. Left receipts, just very unkempt in here. If we go over here, actually, you can see...
How do people believe this shit, man? Like, I watched this last night and I was just like, yeah, this is stupid, you know? But now that I'm watching it again, I'm just like, I don't want to get worked up or anything, and I'm just disgusted at people, dog. Like, people are just, how do I live in what the fuck is going on Earth, man? That people are just so fucking stupid that they can do this and people just believe it. Oh yeah, this is a guy's house, and this is a random white bitch, news bitch, walking around an active crime scene. Get the fuck out of here. This shit's all a show, dog. It's theater. And here's 2 things. If you watch this shit all the time and believe it, you're gonna be caught up in the theater, and that's gonna have you distracted from yourself and your own progress, or you're gonna be caught up in the theater and angry about it, and that's also gonna distract you from yourself. You feel me? The best is what I really realized. You know, people think it's like good to break this shit down and expose it. What I've learned is best is you should not even be aware of this shit. The less you're aware of this shit, the better you're doing. The more you're locked into your hobbies, you're studying, you're this or that. You ain't worrying about these TV situations until it happens, and you're ready to when it pops off. When it pops off. Until then, I'm doing me. You feel me? This is just ridiculous.
The Department of Justice documents here, the search warrant, and the property that they recorded here, which seems to be a lot of chemicals. again, just left in disarray. There's a bedroom back here, and what appears to be his collection of religious materials,
And this shit's so fake. You know, this bitch right here walking around the fucking house, doing her crisis actor shit. This is probably a missing child. This is probably somebody who was a missing child back in the days. Now she's a grown agent, operative, sex kitten, MK Ultra, multi-personality shattered ass bitch up here trying to fucking fool me into believing, oh yes, look at his house. He had chemicals and he's Muslim. I don't care.
Qurans, an open Quran with a passage there, as well as even the Bible here, but mostly books on Islam, and his prayer rug just to the left of me here. And if we go back, there's another bedroom here. You can see he left all these belongings, contact lenses, personal belongings, bathroom. This seems to be some sort of workspace, again, with other chemicals here. The light's still on. Some kind of station set up here. We're not really sure.
The light's still on. This is some bullshit.
What that was for. In, what we can assume was also a bedroom. You can see clothes left here. And just a sign that someone was here up until those last few moments when neighbors said,
It was one very neat raid. Light was still on. Everything still looks like it was.
Yo, shout out to Sleepy Homie, dog. Shout out to niggas who could just be sleepy and get money and just smoke weed all day. Like, man, I need to get my shit together. Shout out to this nigga.
Was in place. Even the documents on the table were nice and neat. I don't think I've ever seen a news agency inside of a home that's just been raided.
All right, Gabby from.
Yeah, yo. You don't see a news agency inside of a home that's just been raided. You don't see it. You feel me? And you don't see a house that's been raided by the feds that looks like that. Like,
It's getting weird.
you never seen a house that's been raided by the feds that looks like that. You know how I know? Do you know how I know? Don't worry about how I know how a house looks after the feds raid it. This man has no talent. He's saying nothing. He getting money though. He got almost 40,000 subscribers though. You don't gotta say nothing. You don't have to have talent. Nigga, that's old school shit. That's old nigga shit. That's back in the days. What do you think this is? 1972 or some shit? Back when you had to have talent and be able to do the chicken wing and spin and shit like that, nigga. This is 2025 actually. It's not even 2020. This is 2025 now when you don't need no talent. Just follow the rules. Just follow the rules. You feel me? I'm about to make one of these channels too where I just sit there and go, oh yeah, word, that's crazy. We would have loved to see Big Meech's house. Facts, we didn't see none of the house. Southwest T's house. We didn't see Southwest T house. We didn't see Big Meech house. We didn't see Ray von Edmonds house. I never saw the inside of Alpo's house. How come I never saw the inside of Alpo's house? He told on everybody. You feel me? I didn't see the inside of Alpo's house. You feel me? Yo, Prince says he's winning. And copy. You feel me? Yo, Prince, listen to me, dog. I'm trying to get rid of any type of standard I have for myself for what I do and don't do besides gay shit. Gay shit's never gonna happen. But I'm trying to get rid of all my other standards that's stopping me from getting money, dog. My plan for this channel really is here's how you really get money. You see these niggas making these reaction channels? They don't own none of these clips. I'm gonna take their channel. I'm gonna watch their video. All I'm gonna do is watch their videos. I'm gonna go to my editing program, clip the clip that they're watching out, and put myself to the side of it. That's it. You feel me?
Weirder and weirder. The more information that comes out about the New Orleans and the Las Vegas attack, the more it makes me question everything. For one, since when do authorities allow the New York Post to do an MTV Cribs walkthrough?
It's all propaganda, full propaganda. You feel me? Just like they say the guy who blew himself up in the Tesla truck. They're like, oh yeah, everything's incinerated. It's incinerated. He's burned beyond a recognition. And then they're like, oh wait, here's his passport, his work ID, here's a driver's license. Yo, living on Earth is crazy as shit, man. It's like It's just like in September 11th when they're like, yeah, the whole building fell down and turned into baby powder. It turned into baby powder in the air. That's what fire does, right? And guess what else? And guess what else, guys? We found a passport on the ground.
Of the New Orleans attacker's home. Hey, over here, this was his explosive desk where he would make all of his explosives. Over here is his Quran. Look, right here is the FBI warrant with all the stuff they took. He also left some shirts behind. The Las Vegas attacker had an encrypted messaging app called Signal, and according to his friends, the day of the attack, his security number changed. And then after the explosion, his profile picture and his name changed. You know, he didn't make it, so who was making those changes?
Now, they're saying he didn't make it. Now, here's a couple theories. One, here's two theories. Now, people need to listen and realize that we are living in high-level action movie theater. This is what's really going on. There are two chances. Two things that went on. Either this guy's like a mind control MK Ultra Manchurian candidate or something like that, and they activated him. That's why he went there and did all that weird shit. And he goes there, fireworks in a Tesla truck, activates whatever amateurish bullshit explosive, pops it off, pops himself in the head, and he has all these fireworks in the car because this is an inside joke. It's an inside joke. It's a message between the so-called elite, these warring factions of people. You feel me? They're speaking a different language to each other. They're speaking through symbolism. You feel me? Now that's one. They're saying this guy is possibly highly trained. So I'm letting you in on all the wild theories. Either he put a body in there and sent it there as a message, or somebody already popped him, they put his body in there and sent it over there as a message. Feel me? Because from what I understand, this guy was also involved in the disclosure or the whistleblowing of some technologies that are very prominent right now, being spoken about. Anti-technology, plasma, cold fusion technologies. You feel me? And this is where it gets weird. All right, this is where it gets weird. The guy asked, there's a guy I fuck with, a guy who studies physics or whatever, fringe physics, new physics, Ashton Forbes. This is all coming together like a movie because they have been watching Ashton Forbes not let go of the M370. I think that was it, MH370, that flight that disappeared over Malaysia. And that footage that you can look up right now. We can look up the footage right now. The Malaysian flight, before it disappeared, it was on fire. And while it's still flying on fire, 3 orbs appear, triangulate around the plane, and then they collapse onto the plane. And it seems like they collapse.
Also,
and it seems like they collapse space and time. The plane disappears, pop out of space and time. Now, ever since this happened for years and years, this is way back, Ashton Forbes has been looking into it without any real conspiracy theory mind. That's what's interesting about him. No alien shit, no spiritual shit, straight science. You feel me? And he's kind of unfolded by himself. A regular guy has unfolded, how do I say, what they're doing with the technology by putting pieces together of people who have been doing this. Because people are going to advance and figure out technology, period. But he's putting the pieces together and he's figuring out that this is like plasma quantum, like AI technology. Sounds crazy, right? So quantum meaning it's quantumly entangled. So they can send the 3. So there are 4 orbs, right? There are 4 orbs. They are quantumly entangled. So you can send 3 of the orbs to a target. They can triangulate and collapse space-time around the target. The target is then teleported to the location of the fourth orb, that is quantumly entangled with the rest of the orbs. You feel me? I just want to let you know how crazy the technology is. And this is what might be going on right now. Because there's a war for this technology. Because there's 2 things. It's infinite power. So if you have this, or saying that you would destroy the world or whatever, that's what white people always saying. You know, white people always want to talk. Anytime, white people always think about destroying the goddamn world. You feel me? But also, that's what they're saying. Oh, it's too strong. You'll destroy each other. Well, the real issue is that once this technology is disclosed, brought to the public, let me say what I think personally. I think people are so cooked, the masses are so cooked and stupid, nobody's gonna do anything, nobody's gonna care. It's gonna be, oh, it's gonna go into another day. You feel me? When in reality, what they're worried about is what we should do. The same reason America's so worried about black people, but we're not gonna do what we, let me not say this online, we're not gonna do what we should do. You feel me? After all that so-called black people have been through in this country, you would think that you'd have to worry about us. You wouldn't have to worry about some fucking Muslims coming over here. You'd have to worry about us because we had the direct experience in this country with you motherfuckers. So we really should be booming up your buildings and doing all types of crazy little things, guerrilla warfare against you all the time, just for the fuck of it. I remembered what you did. I remembered what you did to my great grandmother. You feel me? I remember what you. Hey, remember those little girls? Remember those little girls who were just chilling in the church, trying to do their thing, and you white boys went over there. Yes, we on that forever. You feel me? But no, just like, let me get this off the screen. But shout out to, just like people on my screen, Dr. Khalid Muhammad says, that's not in our nature. We are truly the chosen people of God. So we just don't move like that. You feel me? Just because you are a satanic devil and you'll go dead off some kids, doesn't mean that we're going to go kill your kids. We don't move like that. You feel me? But moving forward, I digress. Ashton Forbes is making the point that once this technology is disclosed, they think people are going to wild out because they're going to realize there was never any reason to be sick. There was never any reason to be hungry. There was never any reason to be homeless. There was never any reason to be struggling. There was never any lack. There was never any not enough. You feel me? There was never any reason for war. There was never any, none of this shit. They've had this shit for like 100 years. You feel me? But I'm gonna get back. You know what? This is a subject because I'm giving my angle on this shit. These niggas can say what they want.
According to authorities, everything was incinerated in that blast, except, of course, for his forms of identification. Both his passport and his United States government identification somehow remained intact.
Yep, that's him. Don't worry about it, folks. We got him. That's him.
Also, nobody's bringing up the fact that the New Orleans attacker rented this truck. Notice on the back of the bed, there's no flagpole. But he had time to...
Isn't that interesting? That the two attacks happened on the same day. They both rented cars from Turo. Oh, yo, I know most people don't care about this information. We're not yelling about bitches or whatever. But they both rented cars from Turo. The guy in Las Vegas and the guy in Louisiana. They are both in the military. They both served at Fort Bragg. You feel me? They both served at Fort Bragg. The guy who tried to pop Trump that they say tried to pop Trump on the golf course. He's visited Fort Bragg. I think it's Bragg. He's visited Fort Bragg like 147 times on the record. What the fuck is going on? This is very interesting. Isn't it? And guess what? The guy who boomed himself up in the Tesla truck, he's also a TV actor. He was also on a TV show about military guys or some shit like that. He was on a TV show. Now people can say, oh, whatever, that's just a chance. To me, you're an actor at that point. You know, people, oh, that's just a chance. He was on a TV show. Let me take it to another level. Guess who his partner on the TV show was? Tim Kennedy. Tim Kennedy, somebody who I don't follow, but I know that name because he's been propped up by the intelligence agencies going through the Joe Rogan programming system. You feel me? So this guy, Tim Kennedy, who is on a show with this guy, clearly on a show with him. When the shit happens, Tim Kennedy, when they already know the guy's name is out there and everything. Tim Kennedy does a tweet saying, "Does anybody know who this guy is?" Like putting a poll out there or something that people had to. I'm not even getting too deep in it because I'm not obsessing over this. It's just fucking insane and funny to me. This is why I don't pay attention to anything in the world because I know it's fake. It's all theater. I don't care if people die. I'll deal with dying when I die. Oh yeah, and oh yeah, she's showing it right now. The guy in New Orleans who went over to ran over niggas, drunk niggas in the street. He rented this white truck, and he put a flagpole on the back, and an Isis and a goddess Isis flag on the back of it. So he rented the car, did all this other shit, got a pole holder, put a flagpole on the back of the car, went around Louisiana, put explosives into fucking coolers in different places, and then he knew how to get around the barricades. Then he knew how to. This is fucking ridiculous, dog.
Assemble a flagpole and put it on the back of the truck and fly a crisis flag minus the CR from the back and put a crisis flag in the interior of the cabin just to let everybody know who he was standing with, as if he didn't have a lot of other things going on, like, I don't know, planning attack, making sure he found the weakness in the barriers, planting coolers around town. And I'm not even mentioning the other crazy stuff like the pew-pew wound to the head and was he or was he not self-driven by a Cybertruck to the front of the hotel. But hey, that's in another video. You can watch that previously.
That's crazy. Shout out to WFF News. Said the same thing I said. Since we ain't do that MTV Crib stuff in a house that just been raided, and the warrants just lay nice and neat on the table.
Our subject is 37-year-old Matthew
No way a nigga this high should be more successful than I am on the internet.
Livelsberger. He's of Colorado Springs, Colorado, born July 22nd of 1987. His body is burnt beyond recognition, and I do still not have confirmation 100% that that is the individual that was inside of our vehicle.
We're at the airport, posted up, midnight red-eye flight. Sarah Beans, no Matty B.
Trying not to be weird.
Not to be weird.
Not allowed to be weird or embarrass him. I can't do that.
I don't know. Look at that white boy's face. If this is all, everything's all theater, so I don't take any of this shit seriously. But, he looked like a dumbass, like, police level white boy. You feel me? When you dumb as fuck and you down to go to the police or the military and you do whatever they say, you'll get whatever injections, you go through the programming, all of that shit. This nigga memory been erased. His eyes look stupid.
We're on our way.
Power traveler.
Puerto Rico.
Power traveler.
Costa Rica, it's the same thing, same place, same people, same food, same island.
No, it's not the same as Costa Rica. It's actually very different, I believe. It's a different place.
We're also continuing to investigate whether or not there's any connection between the New Orleans attack and the explosion in Las Vegas. As of now, they've just been briefed. They have not found any evidence of such a connection.
Look at the demonic cracker, dog. Yo, there's no evidence. There's no connection, right? There's no connection. These guys just went to the same military base. They just served in the military together at the same military base. You feel me? There's no connection. They both rented cars from Turo. You feel me? There's no connection.
Thus far.
Well, this rabbit hole just got deeper, didn't it? So it looks like the man that did it in New Orleans, the guy that was in the Tesla truck, both were in the same army base at the same time. Okay, they served together. Coincidence? Here's another coincidence. The guy that was trying to get Trump on his golf course, he visited that army base, Fort Bragg, 147 fucking times, people. Now, I was sensing something was wrong with this guy in the Tesla truck over at Trump Tower. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I'm entitled to my opinions. But now this rabbit hole has gotten so deep that the guy that tried to take Trump on his golf course, the two Army guys, all were in Fort Bragg. The two Army guys served together, and the guy that tried to get Trump on his fucking golf course visited that base 147 fucking times. What in the fuck is going on with Fort Bragg?
Whoa, that's the question of the day. Yo, what's up with Fort Bragg and all these connections?
Yo, and the thing is, I'm like, I have a different type of energy, so I don't really be around sleepy niggas like this. But I like sleepy niggas like Paul. I like sleepy niggas like this. Because niggas, I know we all met niggas like this that just be chilling all the time. He can't stop chilling. He can't get mad. He can't turn up. No, nothing. He doesn't even have the ability. You feel me?
Turns out that the New Orleans attacker and the Cybertruck Trump Tower Las Vegas attacker have more in common than just renting their cars from Turo. Let's get into it. They are both U.S. Army veterans. They both served in Afghanistan in 2009, and this one is just crazy. They both worked together at the same military base. They both had attacks that happened on New Year's Day, 2025. They both were unalived in those attacks. They both worked in IT, and wait, there's more. They both supported the Democratic Party. The New Orleans attacker made several contributions to Act Blue, a fundraising PAC for Democratic candidates. It's unclear exactly where the Las Vegas attacker stood, but thanks to Facebook, we know his wife was very anti-Trump and posted that on her page. And since he chose to carry out an attack in front of Trump Tower, I think they were on the same page. As if that's not enough, we could draw our own conclusions based on this shirt that he is wearing.
Yo, what is up with white? This is all fake. Cause I feel like there's Easter eggs put in places for you to see them. Now you're supposed to see this shirt. Somebody's supposed to notice it and read it and bring it out. I feel like all this stuff. This is like reality is like a Stanley Kubrick movie. Everything is being placed meticulously for you to examine or have some type of reaction from or whatever. And what the fuck is up with white people who don't support Trump? The white man is cooked. How? I know this is all fake, but let's entertain it. Why would any white niggas not support Trump? Because somebody just let me know this. That's why I know it's theater. I know it's theater. The only white people who don't support Trump is when they around niggas and fucking Mexicans or whatever, and they're trying to fucking kowtow? What's the right word? Kowtow works, but it's like that's not the word I want to use. They're trying to. This is not even the word I want to use either, but they're trying to like assimilate to different cultures. Oh yeah, fuck Trump, you know? Yeah, fuck white people. I hate white people, but be like, fuck white people. Shut the fuck up, nigga. White people are fire.
I asked Grok if he could read the images of this shirt, and he said yes. It translates to Ukrainian, quote, glory to Ukraine. We all know what administration is very pro-Ukraine. Kind of reminds you.
Grok. Give me a second. He was using a platform called Grok. That looks like some type of AI that might have less restrictions, and I needs that. You feel me? Hold up. Google. Grok. G-R-O-K. Grok AI. Boom. Grok is a generative artificial intelligence chatbot developed by XAI. Based on the large language model of the same name, it was launched in 2023 as an initiative by Elon Musk. The chat box is advertised as having a sense of humor and direct access to X. It is currently under beta. I might have to do some research on this one. Yeah, I might have to do some research on this one. Yeah, hold on.
You of another attacker, doesn't it? I knew when we found out that they both rented cars from Turo that there was something more going on here. And it turns out that was just the tip of the iceberg. As more information comes forward, and I will let you know, but as always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
Wow. Now that's fantastic journalism. Shout out to WFF News.
This white bitch ain't saying shit.
Do you know what eating cucumber can do to you? Known for its high water content, but what many people don't.
Sustained a gunshot wound to the head prior to the detonation of the vehicle. One of the handguns was found at his feet inside of the vehicle.
Breaking news, the Las Vegas police have just announced that the Las Vegas Cybertruck attacker had a pew-pew wound to the head. And because he was in a Cybertruck that is self-driving, the question now is, did he sustain that injury just moments before the detonation or sometime earlier? The Las Vegas police said that this explosive was amateur and not what they would expect from an individual that has a military background, especially in ex-Green Green Beret, which raises a lot of questions. Like, was this his doing, or was his body self-driven to the site as some sort of a setup? Elon Musk has just announced that he has the Tesla team looking into this. They are going to Las Vegas to retrieve the in-cabin footage from the Cybertruck to see if they can find out when.
Yo, I'm telling you, I wish. Not I wish. You know, I'm doing what I want to do. I'm locked in studying the financial market, so I don't have time for this shit. But if I had time, I would really look into it, because I know the fireworks being in the Tesla truck in front of the Trump Tower, that is an inside joke. It's the elite speaking to each other. So-called elite, you know, pussy ass niggas.
Exactly this injury was sustained. They need the owner's approval to receive this in-cabin footage, but it looks like they are actively working on that now. As more details come forward, we will share them with you.
You need the owner's approval to receive in-cabin footage from a truck that was rented and used in a quote-unquote terrorist attack, right? When the feds had to get a bullshit ass search warrant on me, they got that shit done. So they gotta wait for the owners. Get the fuck out of here, dog.
You, but as always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
Yo, the cabin footage.
Yeah, this white boy talks about the sleeper cells, but I should have did a show about this a long time ago, because I already been sitting on this information.
I have my reasoning for it if you want to stick around. The things that have been happening in the past few days, not only do they seem connected, but I've been doing some research specifically in both the Las Vegas situation, but more importantly, the New Orleans situation. That guy who committed what he did in New Orleans, yeah, he seemed of sound peace of mind. He seemed like a regular person, you know, in real estate. And I felt like I have good discernment, but I couldn't tell that something was wrong with him at all. And that's the definition of what people would like to call sleeper cells, meaning that we are infiltrated. And then obviously the situation in Las Vegas, as well as there was another huge incident this morning in New York. God be with their souls. I really hope that, you know, we absolutely get our shit together here in a few weeks and just start cracking down on the crime, because this is getting out of hand.
I agree. It's certainly.
There is no getting cracked down on crime when the police are part of the Masonic fraternity that is a part of the theater allowing these things to happen. So, what's only good? The only thing that can really happen is, it's not really going to happen, because you see white. Let me not put this on white people. Shout out to white people. People are cooked in general. Only thing that's really going to happen to thwart the plans, these sleeper cells, and all these people, if Americans are strapped the fuck up, when anything goes left, we stop it as quick as possible.
I do not believe in coincidence. I believe that everything that is happening right now is all connected. A few days ago, I made a video stating that I had this weird feeling of impending doom, like something big was going to happen, like something big was coming. Now,
I don't care about your feelings, all right? Don't care about your feelings, lady.
Listen to it.
Throw out the white bread.
Yo, what is even going on? Now a bomb threat on I-85 in South Carolina? And I have many things to show you, unfortunately. Remember, I showed you the year started off with WTF. So yeah, they shut down I-85 because of this truck and a bomb threat. But do you know buildings are also smoking in New Orleans? I think I've seen 2 already, today, just today. Not including what just happened yesterday. Also, at the same exact time, we had a shooting at a mall in Austin, Texas. Ring any bells? And we're not even talking about the connections between those 2 people from yesterday. And back to South Carolina, also today in South Carolina, at a Bojangles that I used to go to, an employee who started shooting people in the drive-thru. Do you remember 2 days before New Year's I told you people were starting not to act right? I told you that the thunder hit the Empire State Building and the Capitol.
And when do all these things happen? and they don't show the face of the people. I'll say, like, it's Bojangles, dog. An employee shot people. They know who it is, and his face isn't up. Okay.
It was a bad omen. By the way, someone saw something weird in the stunner. Do you see it? Oh, forgot to mention, planes are still falling out the sky and hitting buildings in California. And these all just happened within the last hour. It's almost like someone opened a portal. There's some bad voodoo on this year. Let me know what I missed.
Somebody did open a portal. Shout outs to the real Moon Henry. That truck with the bomb on 85.
And yet, everywhere that we look, there is actual physical evidence, proof that this book is not only true, but what is written in it actually happened. Today, we're going to go over some of the top archaeological finds that prove the Bible and also prove that this book is our true history.
Everything is theater. Now, when you start to understand everything is theater, you start to understand that archaeology, all this shit is just nonsense. It's just all theater. And then we have people out here who are religious fanatics, and they're going to use their confirmation bias to support their position. You feel me? That's what's really going on right now. That's the big plan. They want to radicalize everyone, because when they radicalize everyone, they can control everyone. You feel me? And they want you in the three majors. They want you in like Christianity, Islam, or Catholicism or some shit like that. Yeah, or Judaism. They want you in that shit because they can control you. Because the Vatican, the Catholic Church, created all of those. The Catholic Church created Judaism. That shit created, or it's an offshoot. If you want to say people want to go to the historical timeline, it's an offshoot. It's been co-opted. Judaism, it created Islam to war with Judaism to just control shit, and Christians just to be a part of that shit. They want the Crusades to come back. You feel me? So they don't care what you are. So you think you're choosing a right side. Oh, I'm on the right side. You feel me? I'm on the Christian side, or I'm on the Muslim side, or this and that. Like, there is no right side, bro. They're just little controlled animal farms that they push you into, and then they're gonna play you like pawns to go against each other. You feel me? And we don't really see how easy this is to be done in America, because we have something called like free speech for so long, and this semi-freedom that we had. But if you look around the world, when people get into these religions, they get fucking crazy. You feel me? They get crazy enough here in the U.S., but they get crazy around the world. A Muslim nigga in the Middle East sitting around barefoot right now, dirty, musty, sitting on the floor talking about, oh, yes, Allah this. Oh, no, you can't listen to music. You can't drink nothing. Don't do nothing. Same time they touching kids and all. It's all bullshit, man. I don't believe in anybody's more moral superiority or on any of that shit, man. Just shut the fuck up. Just say you scared. Just say you scared. It's all right just to say you scared, and you're scared to think for yourself. You know what I mean? And a religious fanatic, somebody who's controlled totally, they'll come over here and they'll see me as like a bad guy. They'll see me as a bad guy. I'm evil. I'm this or that. Just because I'm thinking. Because I'm not against the Quran or the Bible or any of that shit. But you can't tell me that I need you to interpret insanity to me. I can read just as well as you can read. You feel me? And these shits say crazy shit in them. And it's crazy how, and I'm like such an open-minded person that sometimes I want to talk to somebody who considers themselves more well-read than me in the Bible or this and that. But you can't have a conversation with these people because they're going to give you their interpretation to match their confirmation bias. You feel me? No, that's not what it means, bro. I'll read some shit. You read some shit directly out of some religious text. And the nigga that's a part of that religion, you'll be like, yo, why does it say this? It's just, no, that's what it means. That's not what it means, and it was different in those days. And no, what that really means is this, nigga. Shut the fuck up. I can read too, dog. Keep it a bean. I can read too. You feel me?
Still.
Nigga got mad commercials.
The Cybertruck highlighted there. So through extensive surveillance video, we were able to track him leaving there, and we know that he went to several different places along Las Vegas Boulevard. That's north on the boulevard from Sands at 8:39, where he then immediately heads to the Trump Hotel, pulls into the valet area, and as of course you all know, the explosion occurs within 17 seconds of his arrival at the valet.
And that's...
Well, you see what we're dealing with. You see what we are dealing with. And I know probably just from my title, YouTube has my channel suppressed like a motherfucker right now. But since we're here already, let's get into this. Let's get into this. Nah, y'all not ready for that. Y'all not ready for that. Give me a second. I know dead air isn't good. I think maybe I'll get into a little Ashton Forbes before we end this, because I might come back with some BS content. You know, talk some shit, do some push-ups. What's good, Chris? What's good? I'm just going over these situations, how the whole world is theater and nonsense. You already know. Oh, Jason Giorgiani's gonna be on, that's today at 1 p.m.? Oh, crazy. Hold on. Jason Giorgiani's gonna be on Ashton Forbes at 1 p.m. today, you know. Yeah. I was actually watching something about him yesterday. He got very interesting concepts about how the information being saved on microchips and the transference of energy, and how deleting information off microchips causes physical change within the world. You know, it's very interesting. Maybe I'll if anybody's interested in that, let me know. I'll drop the link to it. But I know most people ain't interested in that shit. You know, Ashton Forbes got mad commercials. I already know. Yeah. This is really interesting because there's so much to catch people up on. Because if you have been, oh my God, the following content making, they're trying to bury, that's crazy. That's crazy. They're trying to bury the Ashton Forbes shit. Hold on. This is just long as hell.
239 people on board, including 4 Americans, has gone missing.
To anybody who's never seen this before, check it out so you'll understand a bit of what I understand about this technology. You'll understand a bit of what I understand about these technologies that we have, and this is a major issue. All this political shit, all this extra shit has nothing. Everything that's going on is surrounded around this technology and controlling it. Look, this is that Malaysian flight. This is that Malaysian flight, MH 730 or something like that. The one that disappeared. Now watch this footage. You see the object surrounding it. This is military footage. You see the object surrounding the plane. Now you see 3 of them, right? You see 3 of the objects. You see them? The 3 quantum orbs. There's a 4th one at the location that they want the object transported to. And the 3 here, quantum AI plasma, basically, triangulating on the plane, and then it will collapse it out of space and time. And look at the trail that they're leaving. That dark area is cold, is super cold. That is a result of the technology creating cold fusion. Check that out. Perfect triangulation. See the hot spot on the plane? The plane's on fire. Check it. It's crazy. Boom. You see that? Is he gonna show it slow? Or is he gonna get right to the show? Oh my god, he should have showed it slow. Hold on. Yo, check it out. I'll get a slow clip later, but look. You'll see him collapse and then boop, it's gone. Look. Boom. Gone. Out of space and time. That's the level of technology that we're dealing with. And this technology is not just a weapon or a transportation tool. It is a key to the universe. It's infinite energy, 0-point energy. And it collapses all systems. If this technology is in the hands of the people, it collapses all systems. Auto industry, power industry, oil, gas industry, it immediately takes all control away from the so-called elites. You feel me? Because they can no longer put us into a scarcity mindset. And you think the elite are just afraid of not having control and you not being in a scarcity mindset. No. They're not afraid of you being happy. They're afraid that once you aren't in a stress state at all times, that you will be able to think. And once people can think clearly on a mass scale, everything changes. Everything changes. So that's why we are constantly bombarded with propaganda. Propaganda keeps things the same. Because life imitates art. It's not the other way around. Life imitates art. And we are living in art. You feel me? Like I remember I was having like a little rant rage at one time, and I was like, I'm tired of living in the imagination of Satan. You feel me? And that's what we're in. It's not real reality. Everything that we talk about, you feel me? You pull up, oh, this happened and that happened and all that shit. It's theater that is distracting you from yourself. Because if you actually concentrate on yourself, that's really what the propaganda is for, to keep you not from thinking and concentrating on yourself. Because here's the thing. There's a 100 monkey theory. If 100 of us can think clearly and imagine better and greatness, everybody will start doing it. So they have to keep you propagandized and fearful, number one, and distracted. Fearful and distracted. Let's see if we can get some cool shit real quick. Let's see if we can get some cool shit real quick. And yo, if anybody's into the science shit, I highly recommend following Ashton Forbes' channel and fucking with him. This nigga, he's pretty gangster too. Nigga's pretty gangster. I don't know. When a white nigga looks like this and he's kind of like, you could tell that like this nigga's kind of gangster. He kind of hood. Like,
where the scientist goes on and goes like, "We're gonna all die. I'm trying to tell everybody that we're gonna all die," and everyone's going, "Video games, though. What about video game effects?" And I'm going, "I'm trying to tell you that we're all gonna die." Like, that's what I see in the future of this technology. This is 10 years ago. This right here is 10 years ago.
And here's the thing. If it has the superpower to kill everybody and dismantle reality, let it do it then. I don't give a shit. Do it. Do it.
Where the scientist goes on and goes like, "We're going to all die. I'm trying to tell everybody that we're going to all die." And everyone's going, "Video game."
That shit's crazy. Triangulation, the collapse of the energy, the space and time, and that shit created a fucking wormhole.
Though, what about video game effects? And I'm going, "I'm trying to tell you that we're all going to die." Like, that's what I see in the future of this technology. This is 10 years ago. This right here is 10 years ago. Okay, now that we've got the what's going on from a technology standpoint laid out there for everybody, today, the thing that blew this all up was that this letter, this email, gets leaked. I'm going to see if I can find a transcript of the full thing for us so we can just, I'm going to read it off. But I do want to give credit to Sean Ryan. Apparently he was conspiracy because what he's saying in there is true in terms of the drone technology. He was fleeing to Mexico, and for some reason, we believe right now, the story is out there, that he blew up using a rented Cybertruck. He blew the car up.
Oh, yes, this is important. My bad. It's hard to find the important parts in this shit, but this is important right here. It goes along with my whole premise behind this show.
Like, actually, I didn't even know it was connected to the Cybertruck guy when I posted it. I just thought this is a crazy letter. The letter, short story, basically says that the drones we were seeing on the East Coast are China, and that they've figured out this anti-gravity technology, and they've got their anti-gravity drones, and we've got our anti-gravity drones, and now we're in some kind of race to see who's going to annihilate the other person first. And he says that he's got top secret clearance, compartmentalized access, and he says as well that he's got, and people didn't know what the letters are. It's like USAP. That is unacknowledged special access program. USAP. And people have vetted his background over the last few days. He's 100% a real, is he in the Marines? I don't know exactly which branch of the military.
It doesn't matter what branch he's in, but he definitely is part of special operations when you're on a TV show. People need to realize most of these people on YouTube, definitely on major networks and all this shit, the majority are agents, controlled people, feeding you propaganda narratives. That's why every channel says the same thing.
But he's an actual military member. So, and in this letter, he says that he is fleeing to Mexico. Fleeing to Mexico. He was a Green Beret. He was fleeing to Mexico, and for some reason, we believe right now, the story is out there, that he blew up using a rented Cybertruck. He blew the car up in front of the Trump Tower in Las Vegas. But get this in mind, he killed himself first. So before he blew up the car, he shot himself in the head. Was it in the back of the head? I'm just asking questions. Just asking questions. Because...
And somebody who's a Green Beret, military asset, been on TV shows, do you think this guy doesn't have that access? Like, USAP. He said it stood for, what did he say it stood for? Special Access Program? Undisclosed or unidentified or undisclosed Special Access Program? You think that guy, you think he doesn't really have a grip on technology? You think people can't hack a Cybertruck and make it do whatever?
It's starting to sound pretty weird because the whole story of like this guy randomly blew up his Cybertruck in front of Trump Towers went from like, okay, maybe far left-wing weirdo who really hates Donald Trump and Elon Musk who's trying to send a message. But now it's like, I mean, I'm building a story in my head right now, and it's starting to sound pretty conspiracy because this.
And what's interesting about this guy, he's totally, let me not say anti, but in his presentation, he doesn't present any conspiracy information. He doesn't entertain it, doesn't entertain aliens, doesn't entertain spirituality, doesn't entertain any of this shit. Straight science. You feel me? But even he, in this episode, has to start acknowledging mind control.
What he's saying in there is true in terms of the drone technology we have and China probably has. He even says that he's being followed, actively monitored. And most of it, he's just deducing because he's like, of course, they're actively monitoring me. But it seemed like he was in the know and knew that he was being actively followed. Also today, a video came out that shows him at a charging station. Shows him at a charging station. So, should we just look at that video? Let's just look at this video right now. Now that I've already just told you the story, I want to look at this charging station video. I think it's this one. Yeah, here it is. That's him. He's got a flashlight on his head. Like he's cleaning the car. Now I'm telling you, chat, if I'm considering suicide, I don't think I'm dusting off the car or whatever he was doing right there. Is that what he was doing? Yeah, I think he was dusting off the car. He's dusting off the car. Huh. Now, let's have initial reactions and then
I do not make it to my decision point or onto the Mexico border, I am sending this now. Please do not release this until 1 January and keep my identity private until then. First off, I am not under duress or hostile influence or control. My first car was a 2006 black Ford Mustang V6 for verification. What we have been seeing with drones, he puts that in quotes, he says drones, is the operational use of gravitic propulsion systems powered aircraft by most recently China and the East Coast, but throughout history, the US. Only we in China have this capability. Our OPSEN, that's Operations Center, our OPSEN location for this activity is in the box.
Okay, I want to address a couple things real quick. Sorry, we're going to go slow through this because I want to, guys. This is the other thing I want to say about this. This whole thing stinks. My spider sense is going crazy on this. And my spider sense hasn't gone this crazy since the MH370 videos, to be perfectly honest with you guys. There's never been any other thing out there that was a conspiracy since those videos that I've thought 100% there's got to be something going on here. This is already crazy. Why? Because when was the explosion? Was it on 1st of January? This was before he died. He sends this whole thing off. This doesn't seem like a manifesto. This seems like somebody who's needs, like, they're asking for help here or something. Like they're really afraid something bad's happening. You don't write this. This is not a suicide note. This is not a suicide note, chat. So now I'm like, okay, if this is real and this isn't somebody messing around pretending to be this guy, this is pretty scary. He says he's on his way to Mexico border. That's huge. He says, don't release this until the 1st of January and keep my identity private until then. What? That is not something you say if this is a suicide note. If you're going to go below.
Very interesting. Keep my identity. Okay, what day did this happen? You know, I'd be out of the loop. Did this happen on the first day of the year? It's interesting. I need to look that up. If anybody's in the chat, can you let me know, like, did this incident, did both these things happen? They happened on New Year's, right? On the first day of the year. He said don't release it until January 1st. It's interesting. So if that was him in the car, he was already killed and there was a message. There was a message sent to somebody else. Or homie's so nice with it, he put somebody else in there. And it's a message in another way.
Blow yourself up. Why would you say any of that? Unless there's something coming here afterwards where he's going to say, I'm doing this for all these political reasons, blah, blah, blah. Maybe. Okay? I'm not under duress or hostile influence or control. My first car was a 2006 black Ford Mustang V6 for verification. Now I'm already like, this is a good story no matter what now. Like, he's giving verification for who he is. If you're suicidal, you're going to blow yourself up. You don't care about, why would you care about verification? Why would you care about, here's my verification? You're about to blow yourself up. You don't care what happens. This is like somebody, like, are you being chased? Are you in danger? What we have been seeing with the drones are operational uses of gravitic propulsion systems powered aircraft by most recently China in the East Coast. So he talks about that China and us are the only ones who have this. Now, I've been telling you guys, I think, and people actually disagree with me, that United States is number one on the technology chart. It's not close. Russia and China, I think that China leapfrogged Russia. I think China's already surpassed Russia on this anti-gravity type technology, and Russia's in third somewhere. Like, they've just kind of fallen apart. Completely fallen apart, unfortunately. And so it wouldn't surprise me if that because it's all based on drone technology, plasma technology. You know, this is the kind of stuff that I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of Russian drone expos. So yeah, this is where like something is this match is what I expect was actually going on behind the scenes. Now, as I mentioned as well, I've spoken to sources, and the thing that he's mentioned here is unacknowledged special access programs when he's explaining his background. Okay, I'm going to let this play out.
By most recently China and the East Coast, but throughout history, the US. Only we in China have this capability. Our OPSEN, that's Operations Center, our OPSEN location for this activity is in the box below. China has been launching them from the Atlantic from submarines for years, but this activity recently has picked up. As of now, it is just a show of force, and they are using it similar to how they use the balloon for SIGINT and ISR, which are also part of the integrated comms system.
Okay, so when he's talking about SIGINT, that's signals intelligence. So that means you're basically stealing cell phone signals. Okay, so signals intelligence, imagine that you're picking up people's comms, communications. And OSR, right, is, I don't know what kind of that is. Somebody help me out with that one. Whatever that means. I don't know. Some other kind of spying, basically. So basically it's saying we're using them for spying, but they're not using them to, you know, go vaporize buildings or, you know, cities, whatever they want to do, you know. This is a really specific.
And to let it be known, I know I'm just letting Ashton rock because this is important information, but for an idea of what this technology is, the same way it can propel these SUV truck size or whatever drones around and whatever effortlessly, the same way that it can destroy matter. The September 11th event, for people who aren't totally retarded and could watch those videos, you can see steel beams falling from the sky, disintegrating, turning into powder as they fall from the sky. That ain't normal. That's a different type of technology. That ain't even fucking nanothermite, whatever the fuck they were talking about. That's not that. No.
Specific email.
There are dozens of those balloons in the air at any given time. The so what is because of the speed and stealth of these unmanned aircraft. They are the most dangerous threat to national security that has ever existed.
And that's the Yahtzee. That right there is the Yahtzee. That's the reason why General Flynn is in my replies. That's the reason why Sean Ryan is angry in my replies. Because that's the Yahtzee. This is the most secret national security information. People are making fun of me when I'm saying I'm literally exposing the United States' most powerful secret super weapon ever to exist on this planet. That's what we're talking about here. That's the level that we are at. That's the level of secrecy. We're not talking about nuclear codes. We're not talking about spy satellite surveillance. We're talking about weapons that render all other forms of weapons obsolete, but also could even produce free energy. Free energy for the entire world. That's how huge this technology is. It's so huge that if you're not in the know about it, you might not want to be in the know. You might want to be like, you know what? Just plug me back into the matrix. I'm going to live my life out in ignorant bliss and pretend like I never heard that we could have been having free energy and that maybe the whole world's a simulation and a lie. Everything's a lie. Everybody's full of shit. We're basically just cavemen. Some people don't want that experience. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. And then other people, if you are in the know on this information, then, you know, you got to adapt to that reality. You got to find a way to, you know, compartmentalize it with what we see around us all the time. And some people at the top, even people, very high ranked people, even people connected, they just prefer to be plugged in. They're like, just keep me plugged in. You know what? I don't even want to know. I want to know about this technology. I don't want to know that I could get vaporized in an instant tomorrow, and I would never even know. That's what's basically going on in the real world. And so you have to decide. You have to decide if you want to be woken up to this reality of this technology. Because we have not been having no success with gravity. We just don't know what gravity is. Sorry. Turns out we can understand everything else about the universe, but gravity, mass, and inertia, no, we can't understand those things. Sorry. Just ignore that. Ignore that. You know, and it's just, we're at a point where the public is so far behind what the military and the defense contractors have been able to figure out that we've created this existential crisis where if this information comes out about this technology, a significant number of people.
Now, let me add this in for anybody who's still watching this right now. I'm so deep in the everything is theater side of the game that even Ashton Forbes may be theater. This guy may be theater. Part of the whole thing, part of the whole show, you know? That's where discernment comes in.
A non-zero number of people are going to just decide they don't want to be part of this reality anymore. Sorry, too much for me. Game over. And just shut down and just give up. So when people would say, just release it, just release it, just release it, realize there are people out there going, people's lives are in my hand. And the whole system of society could literally collapse. So for them, it's a hard decision. Now, are we going to release it? Yes, because fuck them. Fuck them, basically. Fuck them. They shouldn't have teleported 239 people on an airplane on March 8th, 2014. And you go, Ashton, are you really, really going to expose all of our secrets just because we teleported Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 on March 8th, 2014? Yes. Yes, that's basically the only reason. And yes, I'm that petty. I don't care if I have to expose super weapons, free energy, balls of lightning that can float around, plasma balls. Honestly, if I have to expose that the whole world is a simulation, I will expose that just to get my one little answer for what you guys did to the plane. So let's continue.
They basically have an unlimited payload capacity and can park it over the White House if they wanted. It's checkmate. The U.S. government needs to give the history of this, how we are employing it and weaponizing it, how China is employing them, and what the way forward is.
Bro, that part was the part where I just went, Yahtzee. I'm posting this. I was reading it when I saw the image. I read that and I was like, this is real. I know this is real. Boom. Putting it out there. And like, this is when it blew up because I knew that, I didn't know right away, but I started digging around and I found out that Sean Ryan was going to apparently show that. That was the big thing that Sean Ryan was building up. But Sean Ryan, just like, honestly, Sean, let me send a message to Sean. Sean Ryan, real talk, brother. I like you, man. I do. I like you. I wish you had me on. I'm a little bit upset about how you kind of ghosted me afterwards. This information, once I found out that it was coming from you on your show, I knew you had vetted the guy. And
all right, so he ran through enough of the letter. I think people can understand what I wanted to get across with this little show right here. I think people understand. I knew this wasn't going to be like a highly watched episode. It is what it is. I am disagreeable. We are disagreeable. This has been another one. The world is a stage.